All right. So hi, my name is Dr. Christy Tabers, and I'm the Manager of Research and Learning at the Dick Smith Library. Today, I'm going to provide a brief overview of the services available to you at the library and show you around the library's website. So I'll leave a little bit of time at the end of the session for questions, and I'm happy to go over anything that you'd like. So just please let me know, and I'll make sure I cover that. So just a little bit about the library. We have over 500,000 titles available for you to use, and about 60% of those titles are actually available online. So you can use the library directly from your living learning communities. The library is open over 111 hours during the week, and we have people available to help you as long as the library is open. It's something that we're trained to do and we love to do. So never feel like you're burdening us. We are really excited to help you out whenever you need. And everything you need is actually available from the library's website. So you don't physically have to come into the building if you don't want to. Of course, you're welcome to. We love seeing students. But if it's in the middle of the night and you just need to do something, everything is available on the website. So let's take a look at the website. You should be able to see it on your screen. Let me know if you can't. But we're going to start with the search library resources. So you'll see 4 different tabs here. It defaults to our Discovery at Tarleton surface, which is a tool that searches about 85% of our databases and our library catalog at the same time. So you can think of it as almost like a Google search for the things that the library has. And I'll go over how to search that in more detail here in a little bit, but I want to go over everything on the website first, and then we'll talk about how to search. So the next tab is our library catalog tab. So this is a tool that I recommend you use if you're looking for things that are physically within the library building. So for example, books, newspapers, printed journals, things like that are best if you search directly in the library catalog. The next tab over is our publication finder tool. So that's a great tool to use if you need to look into a specific journal or a specific newspaper. So for example, if I only wanted to search the New York Times for an article or a topic, I would use that tool. So that's only if you know what resource you want to look in to find something. The next tab over is our subject guides. So we have subject guides available for pretty much any academic program that Tarleton offers. And these are really great for starting your research. So for example, let's say that you need to write a paper for a communications course. You can come over here to this communication study guide, and it actually gives you a curated list of our databases that are focused on communications or communication topics. So we have over 200 databases, and it may be overwhelming to figure out what you need. So that's where these subject guides come into play, because it'll give you exactly what databases search that topic. It'll also give you the call number range. So if you wanted to come into the library and look at our books, this will give you the call numbers range that you can look at to browse for topics. And it'll give you the contact information to the librarian who has been assigned to the topic. So you can contact that person directly and get help, and they should be familiar with all of the communications resources available to you. So I'm going to go back to the home page. And then finally, we have this How Do I tab. So this is kind of neat in that you can just type in a question. So I'm going to start with, how do I look up? And you can see several different questions have auto-populated here. And I want to know, how do I look up a book? So I can click that. It's going to take me directly to an answer that provides detailed steps on how to accomplish the task that I'm asking about. So that's another great resource. We have several frequently asked questions in the question bank. So you should have options for what you're looking for. But again, if not, you can contact us and we can help you with that question. So that's what these tabs here are for. They're actually 5 tabs. Sorry, I said 4 earlier. So over on the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a Ask a Librarian chat box. So of course, we're available in person to help, but if you're working on something in your residence hall and you want immediate assistance, you could type in your question here. You don't even have to put in your name if you don't want to, and click Start Chat, and then you're instantly chatting with a library staff member and they can help you. And it doesn't matter if you're just not sure where to start. If you want to know how to do some research, you could type that question in there. So there's a couple of other services that are available on our website that I wanted to point out to you. First, I want to show how to go online to register for, to book a room, so to make a reservation for one of our study rooms. So you'll come down to Facilities and look at Rooms and Spaces. And then you can actually see a list of the rooms that are available to you. And you can click on one of these buttons to actually reserve the room. So you click on that and then it'll take you into our reservation system and you can select which room you want. And then you can select your date and time and go from there. Okay, I'm going to go back to the home page again. Another great service that we offer online is our Renew Items service. So if you have, let's say you have some books checked out from the library, you don't have to physically come into the building to renew them if you want to use them longer than the due date. You can click on this Renew Items. It'll ask you for your NTNet information, and then you can actually go in and renew your books or your audiobooks or anything that you have checked out from the library right here online. The only thing is you have to make sure that your items are not overdue. If they're overdue and it's past the due date, then you actually physically do have to come in to get approval to renew your due date. But for the most part, you should be able to renew your items here straight from the website. One other service that I wanted to point out to you is our interlibrary loan service. So say you're searching the Discovery at Tarleton database and you come across a book that's in the database, but we don't actually physically own the copy. You can come over here to Interlibrary Loan and click on the Interlibrary Loan login, type in your NTNet information and request that book. The thing to pay attention to is it can take up to 2 weeks to receive that item. So, you know, if you have a paper due the next day, you won't want to do this because you won't get the book in time. But if you have a week or two before the due date, then you can go in and request the item. And we work really hard to get it for you. It's very rare that we can't get it for you. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, we can find access to the item. And that can be a book, it could be a journal article, it could be, I think we could do microform videos, things like that. So you have options there. Don't feel like when it says it's not available that you absolutely can't get it. All right, so that was a very brief overview of our website and what's available on it. Before I move into how to search Discovery or the library catalog, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Thank you, though.
All right, so let's go into how to search Discovery at Tarleton. So let's just say you've been asked to write a paper over a topic, women and violence in the media, and you're not really sure how to get started. So you go to the library's homepage and you notice the search box and you start typing in search terms. So what you might do, if you've never really searched the library's database before, you might even type in here like You might even try a question. How are women portrayed in the media? And then you would search. The thing about the databases is it's better not to type out a question. So in this instance, we have 288 results. So you did get results, and looking at it, you know, these might be okay, but there's a better way to search the databases than just typing in your question. So the way our databases work, they respond well to Boolean operators. And so if you don't know what Boolean operators are, they're also called connectors. So in online search tools, they're used to connect our search terms. So we can either broaden out the search or we can narrow the search, you know, to increase the number of relevant search results we retrieve. So the three most common Boolean operators are and, or, and not. So let's try our search again with Boolean operators. So we can try women and media and violence, and let's just see what we find. Okay, so you can see here now we have 85,000 results, whereas in that other search we had 288. And you can see here too, a lot of these are going to be academic journals, ebooks, and things that we actually own. Whereas in the previous result, it kind of was everything. It was newspapers, things that may not be relevant for you writing this paper. So let's just look at this and we can see if there's an article that we really like. Let's see here. Okay, so let's just say we like this one here. I'm going to click on that. So there's a couple of things you can do once you find an article that you really like. So based on the title, you can come in here and you can actually read the abstract or the description. So it'll give you a little bit more detail for you to make sure that this is the article you actually want. Another great thing that it'll do is if you really like this article and you're having trouble finding others like it, you can go over here to the subject terms and actually use what they've used to basically categorize this article. So then you may want to add in there mass media, you know, and that might give you something else. Or you may want to add violence against women. You know, you can play around with the search terms. Your first search, you know, you're just getting an idea of what's out there, and then you can do more detailed searches depending on what your topic focus is. So I like to show that to students because that really helps. Sometimes it's hard to think of different synonyms or different ways of wording things. So the subject terms is a great way to do that. The other thing you can do is you can access the full PDF article here. So then you can download it, print it, whatever you want to do with it. One of the things I also like to point out to students is the cite feature. So the cite feature is helpful, but it's also has issues. Since it's basically taking what's been input into the database, it's not always correct. So for example, I know for a fact that APA 7th edition, you're not supposed to capitalize all the words in the title. So I would have to, when I copy and paste this into my paper, I would have to go back and make this sentence case. I don't think anything else is wrong in that, but sometimes there's weird things with the authors. There may be weird emails stuck in there. Sometimes they don't have the full citation. So just use the citation tool with caution. Always double check your citations. Okay, I'm going to go back to our results. So the other thing, and this is what I was saying earlier, this little icon here gives you an idea of what these sources are. So you'll see there's a difference in academic journal and ebook. So, you know, if your professor says you can only do academic journals, then you know you can't look at these ebooks. So that helps you know what types you're looking at. The other thing is you'll notice that there's these purple boxes here. So some of them have just a link to the full text or the PDF. but others have this purple box. So if you click on that, that is going to link out to a couple of things. So this one, for example, we actually did have. It was indexed in another database. So I could click on that and follow it to get the article. So yeah, I could click on that and that should take me into the full text. But that's not always the case. Let me get out of here. Sometimes there won't be anything here and there'll just be other options and it'll link you to the interlibrary loan, which I talked about earlier, or some other options such as find more about the title and some things like that. So just because you see a purple box doesn't mean you should give up on that resource. You should follow it through to see if it's linked somewhere else. So for example, this one, we actually don't have it linked anywhere else. So that's where you would click on that to be taken into interlibrary loan. So it's going to ask me to sign in for that. Let's see. Another great tool to use when you're looking at the results is over here on the left-hand side. You can narrow it down by other limiters. So I know a lot of times professors will say, you know, you can only use an article from 5 years ago is the oldest they'll let you do. So you can come in here and do, you know, 2016 to 2021, and that's going to limit it down. You can see it's already limited it down to 41,000. So that'll make sure that you're getting the right resources depending on what your professor has asked. So that is a very brief overview of how to search discovery for articles. Did you have any questions about discovery?
I don't have any questions. Thank you, though.
So one other thing that I wanted to show, and then that's pretty much what I had planned on showing, is our library catalog. So this is a little different. It doesn't do well with Boolean operators as Discovery does. I'll show you how to search with a Boolean operator, but it's just not as accurate. The catalog just isn't set up that way. So it's better to do like a broad topic and then try to go in from there. So for this one, let's just say that I want to look at something to see if the library has something on therapy dogs. So, you know, either way, I'm going to start with the Boolean operator and do canine and therapy and just see what comes up with it. And again, this library catalog is looking for what we physically have in the building. There are some electronic resources within here, but it's not like Discovery that had all of those journals and things like that. So, okay, it did pretty well with the Boolean operator. So I can see that there's resources here talking about therapy dogs. And the thing to pay attention here is the location for one and the material type. So you want to make sure if you're looking for books that you don't accidentally look at this video recording. The same thing with location. So here we have general stacks, and again, we have general stacks here, but you'll notice under library, this is in the Dick Smith Library in Stephenville, and this one's in the Rickett Library in Fort Worth. So, you know, if you're in Stephenville, you can still get the book from Fort Worth, but it'll take a little while. Whereas you want to look at the ones probably in Stephenville because you can actually come into the library like at this moment, walk up and get it off the shelf. And where getting it from Fort Worth will probably take a couple of days because it'll have to go through the courier. So you can pull this up and you can get information about chapters, kind of what's in the book. You get the call number. So the call number is actually how, when you come to the library, either you're going to go upstairs and look for it, or you'll give that to a library staff member and they'll go upstairs with you and help you find it. So it's really important that you have that number. If you just have the title, that's okay. Library staff can look that up for you. It just makes the process smoother if you have that call number ready to go. And you can also text this to yourself. So that's actually what I see a lot of students do. They'll text it to themselves. They'll bring it up to the library and take it to the person working the reference desk, and they'll hold it up and say, I need help finding this. So it's easy because we can see the call number on the phone and we can tell you where it's at. Again, there's a cite this feature, but I would caution that these aren't always accurate. And this one hasn't been updated to the 7th edition, so that's another thing to look out for. And then you can also link to this, so you could send a link through email to this as well. And this is similar to Discovery in that the left-hand side, you can narrow it down. You could get into more topics. You could look at publication date. This should tell you, yeah, the years here. You could do material type. So you could see that the materials that came up were books, digital video, and ebook. So if you wanted to, say you wanted to exclude digital video, you could do that. And I narrowed it down. So it's similar to Discovery, but a little bit different. You can also go up here and click Advanced Search if you're looking for multiple things. So you can, this will narrow it down to which library. So if you might want to go in there and do that, if you're in Stephenville, it can narrow it down to language, again, which library, which format type. So the Advanced Search just offers more options. Okay, so that really, this didn't take as long as I thought it would. That is what I had planned to cover. So if you have any questions or if there's something you'd like me to go over again or walk you through, I'm available to do that right now if you'd like.
I've had some issues with my transcript being sent in. Can you tell me if y'all can see that or not? Or do I need to call somebody else?
No, I can't. I can't see anything on my screen.
So does that mean it's not been received yet?
Can you say, I'm sorry, what was it?
My transcript, it's like they've been having issues. Hill College has been having issues like sending it in or something.
Oh, okay. That would probably be maybe a registrar question at the library, unless you're saying that you're faxing it to the library.
Well, like they should have already sent it in like 3 times, but I don't know. It's been weird.
Okay. Let me pull up. If they faxed it here, the best person to contact would probably be, let me find him here, Jacob Martin.
Okay.
Because he'll be able to tell you if we've received a fax.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying at first. But
No, you're good.
Is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I hope this was helpful.
Yes.
I hope you learned something. It's always, I never know how it's going to go on Zoom, and we had technical issues at first, so I'm sorry for the delay.
It's all good.
All right, well, if you don't have any questions, and I think you're the only one, let me see. Yes, so you're the only one in here, so I will go ahead and end this session then.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.